We want to start off with a reminder that we are not doctors. Before you make any changes or try something new, always consult with your doctor and medical team first. Chronic illness can vary from patient to patient, so it's always best to consult with your own doctor for what is best for you.
Hello and welcome to I Be Determined. I'm your host, Mason Harvey, and I speak from the role of a patient and I have Crohn's disease.
And I'm your other host, Michelle Harvey. I am Mason's mom, and I speak in the role of a caregiver. And today's show is something that has been in the news or at least on social media for the past week or two. So I thought it was worth discussing. And also we're celebrating our 2-year podcast anniversary.
Yes, anniversary.
It's been 2 years since our first episode.
Crazy.
So that's exciting. I know
news.
When we first started, we're like, hopefully we make it like 6 months, and then we're making it a year, and
now we're
and
like
here
2
we are.
years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Go.
Anyways, happy 2-year anniversary to our I Be Determined podcast. I think that today's episode is going to be fun for Mason because it has something kind of do with your English class that you're doing. So,
oh well, this will
like,
definitely be fun.
This is what I let Mom take over the episode, and
it's gonna be fun.
He's been working on other stuff, so I have been working on this idea. So like I mentioned, there's been a headline that I've seen. That there's been a headline that has been posted in online groups, and shared by many other people with IBD. And I've even had this message to me directly, this article. And so obviously it's gotten attention because it's not just something like I've only known about it. It's in a lot more places.
A lot of other people,
yeah. What always happens when something like this goes around, I am probably, I don't want to say I'd love to be more optimistic, but I'm also pessimistic because I always try to look for the purpose or the why this is being shared. Sometimes wonder if the headline is the extent of the issue, why it's posted. Are people sharing this just because they read the headline, or are they sharing it because they read the content? And they think that, hey, this is really important stuff. It's always interesting to me when people post, comment, and say things like, this is exciting. And
did they read it?
But it's like, did you read it? And I think I think that's very important.
The headline is like breaking news for Crohn's disease, and then you read it's like bad news. There's
right. It's always it might be a little different, and so I think anytime, and maybe I have a different perspective, and maybe Mason does, because since we talk to you guys through a podcast, I always feel a bit of responsibility when I share something to make sure that I have done my homework.
And it's a credible source,
right? And this is where it leads me to Mason's English class.
Yeah.
And this is a good lesson for all of you. Any of you on social media,
need to take English.
This English 201 class. It's fun because we'll have conversations about things. We take walks, and sometimes we'll talk about things and just have these conversations, and it's kind of cool to hear about like what Mason is doing and learning. This last essay you just finished, it was a Imagine Dragons song.
It's a giant. If you haven't heard that song, the meaning of it is very powerful. Yes, very powerful.
It's good music, but it was a explication essay, so like an analysis kind of thing. So that's what they've been working on. I think I'm really happy that his professor's going over this, because I think it is so important to learn these methods onto how effectively evaluate text, any kind of literature, anything on social media. It's important how we evaluate it and how we hear it. One of the words that you were the dialectical approach.
Yes, dialectical.
Yeah, and so I think that's worth mentioning here. Dialectical approach, just kind of like in our own words. You can Google this, and there's probably a much better definition.
Yeah, ask ChatGPT if you didn't watch the last episode.
I know. Basically, it's examining and looking at opposing views, looking at both sides of something to come to a deeper understanding, to come to the truth of the article, to have a deeper understanding of what you're reading. Sometimes can mean that two opposite things can
both be true.
I think that it is important with always looking at both sides of something. When you only learn one side of something,
the other side is going to look worse.
Right. So... Well, and I think that's what everyone does, is they learn just their side so they can argue theirs, and then they just argue. I think
have a dialectical approach.
Right. Exactly. Yes, a dialectical approach, guys. Because if you just learn one side, in something and that's the one that you choose that will support your emotions or your opinion, that can be dangerous. And because it's important, like no matter how you feel on something, that you become good at analyzing, examining all sides. Because the point of analyzing something shouldn't be just to be right and say like, oh, look at this article sides with me.
It's like when your doctor suggests something and you get a second opinion, but you're looking for the doctor that gives you the answer you want to hear.
It's like sometimes, you have to learn, maybe you were incorrect. Maybe you were correct. Maybe you both were correct. And so I think that when you analyze or read anything, the point of it should always be to learn and to seek the truth in it and not just be like validated. Your own feelings are validated. Ignore the parts that don't. That's why I think it's important to look at everything. And I think that's you've been learning that. And I think that's a pretty cool
understanding and stuff.
It does. And I think a lot of adults right now
need to learn how to
do this because it's pretty funny how so many people think that they are so right and someone who's the exact opposite opinion thinks they are so right. How is it possible that two people have such different viewpoints and think they are both correct?
And they can't really discuss it. They have an argument.
No. It's just like it becomes they just want to be right. Nobody wants to actually listen to hear truth and to really understand. And I think that is very important. You may still arrive at the same conclusion and still have the same beliefs because we all have our own beliefs anyways, and that may be.
Now, if someone thinks I'm wrong, I'm going to hear them out, and I'll be like, okay, why do you think that?
Right.
And then if they say whatever, and I still don't think that's sufficient, I'm going to go, well, I think that that's not sufficient because of this. However, you had a good point that this. You want to give them merit, and this is what my thing says. You don't want to just discredit them completely, because now they're going to be like, how dare you?
Right.
You say, well, that's just my opinion. Okay.
Or just jump to calling names. Yeah, that's always a good one. That makes you look weak, in my opinion. If your best argument is to point and call names, that's not an argument at all. And
now you're not. Yeah, how do you think?
Right now you're just arguing, and it's like, what is the point of that? I don't
get along together.
Yeah. So anyway,
pretend you're taking English class every day.
A little fun thing from us for this podcast, and hopefully, maybe you also remember taking those English classes and you learn this kind of stuff, and you're like, yep. And so, keeping that in mind, this is not really a opinion thing. This is more of a science kind of thing, but it's important. We're going to evaluate this article that's been passed around, and the name of it was called "Scientists Discover a Network of Cells and Genes Involved in Crohn's Disease Complication."
Sounds interesting.
The main site, I think it's a great, actually it's a great social media site. They had passed this headline around, and it had mentioned the very first words were good news. And it said like
that's going to make you read more.
Right. Especially if you have Crohn's disease, because you see good news and you see this.
Now, if it's bad news, you're just going to close the dang thing and go, oh man, I'm out.
And this is where I mean, it's like clickbait. It's like anything. So did anybody read beyond the good news and just pass this around and send it, like I got it sent to me because like, oh, this is good news.
It says good news, send.
Right. And so, and I don't mind that.
No,
I actually I like dissecting this.
If people didn't send this to us, we wouldn't be doing a podcast about this, would we?
Right. And so I just think it's important. So anyways, basically what the social media site that was sharing this article, and we'll put a link to the article for you guys too. So you'll have that link so you can do your own reading and your own conclusions as well. But what they said was that it was the first time that scientists have pinpointed the cells causing painful scarring and blockages in Crohn's disease. The discovery could lead to new treatments that stop complications before surgery is needed, which brings new hope to everyone affected by this challenging condition. So very promising.
Yeah, that's a very interesting intro right there. It obviously is going to make someone send that.
See why people,
And so what does the rest of it say though,
Right. So one of the things is when you have a chronic disease, I think a lot of times either you may be one of two things. You may just always have hope and you're looking for these kind of articles and you just want to see the good.
You hope, but
right. Or like if you're the caregiving side, probably like me, you have red flags. You have questions about this kind of stuff.
But why isn't it bigger news?
Right. Why is this only on a Crohn's disease social media site? Why I didn't see this on national news or
isn't the Crohn's Disease Foundation covering this?
Right.
And that because they're literally all about Crohn's disease, and so
it's like these are all good questions to ask. What Mason is doing is just asking good questions.
Yeah.
And you may Google it and it may eventually end up on their site
just
too.
Give it a few days.
But it is a good idea to see what, who's posting it, why are they posting it, why isn't it being posted on these other places. So all good things to consider. Yeah. Still doesn't mean the article's incorrect.
No, it doesn't mean that, but it's just how credible is it?
Right. Exactly. One of the things I guess that I have concerns about when I see headlines like this, I think that people who don't have the disease might be misled and quickly read this and see good news for Crohn's disease and automatically think, oh my gosh, Tom Mason, there's going to be a cure. The thing that scares me is sometimes people who don't read everything and don't understand what this article really is saying, they're going to jump to a conclusion, and that can affect research and support for this disease. And so I think it's very important that, I mean, I love the idea of spreading positivity and hope, but
I mean, we do need more positivity in the world,
right,
but
it's not that.
lying about positivity.
You just want to make sure that it's a kind of, I guess, like a double-edged sword, because you want to spread that positivity, but at the same time, you're not exactly giving any detail in that. There's nothing really in there. And so what happens is I always get afraid that I'm going to get these emails and people are going to think that, oh, good, it's all solved, all taken care of, when it's really not. And we still need more research, still need all the support going into this disease. That's just kind of one of my concerns.
I know we haven't even read that far into it, but let's go back to the title really quick, where we say that scientists discover a network of cells and genes involved with Crohn's disease complication. And so obviously that indicates there's going to be a cure. But the thing is, when they find out what is causing it, the hard part is that Stelara works for me, Stelara may not work for you. And so if you find a certain pair of genes that indicate Crohn's disease, and even if this was true, it's like, oh, that's great, congratulations, we have this type figured out. What is this person being treated with, and there's so many different types of treatments that work for certain people, that even if that did happen, it's still actually very good progress, because we're actually figuring out the cause of something. But at the same time, there's so many different other kinds of Crohn's disease, like subcategories that I think will exist someday, subcategories of Crohn's disease, or IBD. And you have to figure out all those as well if you want to find a cure, because you want to include all those things in one so it works for everyone.
Right. And I think that's where we're going to probably end up, because we'll kind of cover that on the end of this, because you're right that
there's more to it.
There's just to it. And so a headline like this, people always hear Crohn's disease and lump it into like one thing. And so it's like, let's break it down a little bit.
Because there's people who can't eat certain foods. There's people like me who aren't affected by food. And then there's people who can't be treated by biologics. There's people who can only be treated by steroids. There's people who some biologics work for them, other people don't, other biologics don't. And then there's dual biologic people like me. And it's, it's just all over the place. Crohn's disease just isn't one single thing. It's the umbrella term, but I feel like there's just so many different kinds of it, maybe.
And I think that's kind of like really what was important to me in this article is like, did they break it down further into what they're talking about, those complications?
What did they find?
Like, what are they talking about? What it is that and these are I'm going to talk about the positives in this as well. What I like is that the first thing, the article right away in the very beginning narrows down who this is going to apply to. So you're going to know right away what complications for Crohn's disease. You'll understand this better, though, than somebody who does not have the disease. I'll say that.
Yes.
But what it does right away, it eliminates IBD, if you notice. It's not saying IBD complication.
Crohn's disease.
Crohn's disease. So it's eliminating ulcerative colitis. And so right away, there's things that ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease share that are not going to be part of this.
So now it's just Crohn's
article. So now it's just Crohn's.
They're just focusing on that.
But then it narrows it further to say up to half of these patients develop a complication called fibrosis. So this is only pertaining to the Crohn's disease patients that get fibrosis. So that's important in understanding that what they're doing with this article is really about fibrosis and Crohn's disease patients.
Fibrosis.
So
it's not just Crohn's disease,
right?
Just IBD, it's Crohn's disease and fibrosis.
So I think that was what the article did well. Right away was very first lines narrowing it down. So when you start to read it, you go, oh, okay. So it's not going to, this isn't about IBD patients, and this is not about all Crohn's patients. It's just specifically this group. And so some of the things that the takeaway on this that were positives is that, and there's a few key things that were taken from the article we have here, which again, you'll have access to that so you can read these.
We're going to put the link down.
Right. So basically, it's the scientists suggest that new therapies that target these genes could directly address fibrosis and potentially be more effective for this complication than existing drugs, which are primarily focused on reducing inflammation, like what you're taking. So you have kind of right there showing a difference in Crohn's disease, that there's the inflammation of it, and then there is the fibrosis part of it, okay, which is another part.
So what that just sounds like to me is it sounds like it's more treating fibrosis.
Yes.
And
this is what the breakthrough has come through.
It's more 80% fibrosis. And obviously, no, this is not what it's focused on. But I'm just saying, it sounds like they're mainly focusing on fibrosis and then Crohn's disease is more of like secondary maybe, which is, still good they found that out.
Right.
But it's not entirely about Crohn's disease. It's mainly about fibrosis and then Crohn's disease. Now, we haven't read the entire thing yet. That's just what I get from that specific sentence.
Okay, so this is good. It's good to get your feedback as we go along. So we're going to keep this short. It's a detailed article. So just like I said, we kind of condensed it, have a few
we just have a little
sentences I pulled from it. So basically, they did a good job talking about the cellular insights. So what they said is the researchers used single-cell RNA sequencing and spatial transcriptomics to map 68 different cell types across 61 tissue samples from 21 Crohn's patients and 10 controls. 10 controls meaning they don't have IBD. And so that provided a high-resolution picture of the cellular processes that drive fibrosis in the gut. So basically, it's, an interesting take on some research and that was done on how the gut involves a cellular processing that affects fibrosis. The other thing it did well, it pinpointed specific fibroblast subtypes and genetic variants that can contribute to gut scarring, which is a stricture formation.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So, right. So that would offer clear biological targets for future treatment strategies. So this is all starting to narrow towards precision medicine. So that's why I think this is a good article too, because you start finding these other causes of other things that cause Crohn's. So instead of looking for just one key, you're looking at several keys.
Yes.
And so I think that is important. So I think that considering the fibrosis and the
We're getting there.
Right. And so
we're not exactly there yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah. So by highlighting mechanisms tied to fibrosis separate from general inflammation, the findings open doors for therapies aimed specifically at preventing or reversing gut scarring, potentially replacing invasive surgeries.
That's good.
So that's
avoiding surgery.
You're avoiding because you're getting, just like with biologics that help prevent surgeries, it's one more method. So what this did is, this is important. It built on an existing cellular atlas. So this is what it says. It was based on work that was done in 2023. This lab, they went further with it to kind of start to understand more of the disease's microenvironment. So so you can see it was in 2023,
which is 2 years old. But,
and so they've found new information by using the existing work they did in 2023. So
and then they kind of put it together.
Right. And so what's good, what I think is good is it does show how important research is, because maybe what they discovered in 2023
was kind of connecting now.
Yeah.
And so it's all going to work hand in hand,
Right. So it just shows every step is important with research.
It may not seem important at the time, but eventually it will become more important.
Right. And so some of the negative aspects of this article, because like I said, it's important to look at both sides.
Yeah, so we're looking at the good part, and now we're looking at the bad part. Well, not the bad part, but negative.
I should say negative, like limitations of it.
Yeah, it's not bad now.
Right. And so one of the things that immediately caught my attention, I don't know if it caught yours when you're reading it, that the study only included 21
I was actually about to say that. I was about to say only 21, because usually you need about...
That's a very small sample size, guys. So
that's like saying 5 people in America said they like burgers. It's like all of America likes hamburgers. It's obviously still 21 patients is.
But like, what were those 21 patients like? Where did they find them? What was their diagnosis? So we don't know anything about these 21 patients, how they got them, and only 21 out of a million or so people who have 21. And very small.
Now the other interesting thing is, I'm not noticing it say like pediatrics.
It's not going to be typically. I mean, not that I know of. Typically, never involves pediatric.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, typically anybody under 18 isn't being used in testing. So that I know of. I think there are other research things that go on, but
with step therapy.
Yeah, I think it specified this was pediatric.
All right.
So also what it was, and I think it was 10 that they said that didn't have anything, that they compared them to 10 people without. So that's a very small, like to me, not really going to be too accurate. And they didn't really break it down into the 21 patients, like beyond like who experienced what.
Yeah, because they didn't say like what they had or what their problems were.
Right. They did the spatial mapping, examined tissues from fibrotic complications that were taken during surgical resection. So they had these samples that they had collected from people they were taking during a surgical resection. So that could miss, they said this could miss earlier disease stages or changes during treatment or remission.
Okay.
So it's a different point, right? Like they didn't look at the tissue during remission. They didn't look at it. There's something with that.
All right.
And then they said, like, although the study identifies candidate genes and cell types, therapeutic targeting is still hypothetical because no actual drug interventions or treatment trials have taken place. So
this is just hypothetical.
This is all hypothetical. So people are getting so excited. That's like these are just basic results of them looking at something under a microscope.
And only 21 people, so
and they haven't actually figured out if you can do anything with these results. No. That's what's important. You can get these results.
The thing is,
what does it mean?
You're looking in a box of thousands of puzzle pieces and you find one that looks like it works for a puzzle, but will that piece connect to anything yet? You know, it's like, sure, it's a good, it's good news. You found a puzzle piece. Where is it going to be implemented and how, you know?
And so one of the Xavier was one of the people quoted, and this is one of the ones who did the 2023 study. He says fibrosis affects every organ in the body, but generally the therapies that are available to correct or reverse fibrosis work poorly.
Okay.
Connecting genetics to spatial structures of the gut and assembling a map of Crohn's disease risk genes allows us to begin to identify new therapeutic targets and potentially intervene earlier with drugs tailored to individual patients, which is like precision medicine, right?
Right, that's good then.
And so basically though, what he's kind of saying is, because this was another point that was made, that the fibrosis occurs in many organs and they already have existing antifibrotic treatments. And those have shown limited efficacy. What that means is it could be the same, like if those don't work that well for other people with other fibrosis in other organs, how well is it going to work in the gut? The thing is, I think the way I see this article, this is my take. It's a good step.
No, it's a good step, but yeah, we don't know if it's in the right direction. We don't know what it's going to.
So it's good. Research is good.
Yes.
New discoveries are good. Anything that helps us better understand something at the cellular level with this disease, great.
It's great, yeah.
But as far as like it being celebrated and sent to people, they're really just kind of sending around kind of false hope at this time because nothing has actually been tested or proven. So it's exciting in the extent of like,
so it's good news. We discovered something.
New. We don't know if
don't know what it does. Here's the news.
So that's where I think these articles are great. And I also think there's negatives with them because if people don't fully read the article and they just read the headlines, they're not understanding. And I think when you have something as big as Crohn's disease that needs active awareness being raised. It needs research going into it. It needs people continually donating and fundraising. When stuff like this happens, I feel like people are going to
think, oh, there's a cure. We don't need to donate no more.
They're going to tell us, oh, no, but did you guys know that there is this new thing and it's going to solve all the complications of Crohn's? And you're like, no, right? Definitely good direction.
Yeah,
good step. Definitely positive. This is good news. Right. All good news, especially when you're looking in the sense of precision medicine. This is all important. Because you have to get these little keys to unlock all these doors.
Yeah.
And so it's like you said, the puzzle piece. It's like one more puzzle piece.
And it's going to keep making a bigger picture.
Right. We haven't made the big picture yet, but we have that extra piece.
And we're getting somewhere. We need those pieces.
So
I think that, and this is my opinion, but I think that precision medicine will almost be how they find a cure because it's going to be so important and because precision medicine is going to allow you to because you're going to be able to find out
you're going to be looking at these little symptoms and little parts of the disease.
And so I feel like if anything, maybe precision medicine is almost more important right now than a cure. And I feel like, and back to the puzzle idea, that a precision medicine will be the four corners of the outside pieces of that puzzle. And they're going to produce a stability that the puzzle needs to be able to.
It's like when you go through and you find all like the flat pieces on the side so you can put together the framework.
Yeah. So this
and you just fill it in.
Yeah, so this is like one of the little pieces that's getting closer to the corner.
Yeah.
And we still have to find the corners.
We like puzzles over here.
Yeah, we love puzzles.
We love puzzles.
Yeah, Boardwalk Puzzles. Great puzzle company. Yeah.
Yes, we love them though. They're good. But that's a really good it's a good comparison because it's like you need all these pieces and it feels frustrating because you may have thousands of them.
Yeah.
And
it's
you're
like the
looking at it.
220,000 pieces.
But so it does seem like a lot. But once you start pulling one piece and you're going, oh, this connects. Oh, this connects. And this, and so I think it's exciting in the sense that I think we need to share these articles. I think these are important. I just think we need to be responsible with how we share them and the headlines we share with them.
Like maybe
sure
read it before spreading it, you know? Yeah. I mean, obviously it's still good to hear. And it's still nice to share. When they start off by saying good news, it's like, woo!
Yeah. I think a responsible headline is important.
Yeah.
One that is both positive, but also is kind of realistic. So that way, if somebody only shares that headline, it's correct. And but I know a lot of clickbait, they want you to click on, they want you to read more.
That's how they get their clicks.
You guys, it's not entirely their responsibility. You need to read too.
Yeah, you need to read. Yeah, so, we need to start reading more.
Right. So even if the title's a certain way, before you still share it, make sure you read it. Yeah. And so you're like, oh, okay. And if you still feel like,
if you still feel like it's good news, go share it.
Right.
You know?
You can say good news.
But it's so funny if you share it and the people are like, oh my God, what is this about? Good news.
That's first thing.
Yeah.
So.
You didn't really read through it, did you?
So good article. Good
article.
I don't know that I learned too much. I
mean, it's still good news.
But it was exciting. Like, oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good step.
But when I saw how small the group was, I was like, okay, this is a very small, limited study. This isn't something being done in a large research.
Not 100.
But maybe an article like this will generate more interest and get
more interest.
Right.
Which that's what's good about it.
So looking at both sides, all good. Just important to understand
negative,
it.
Some positive.
Yeah.
You know,
just understand what it is. Like I said, be responsible when you share these things and know what you're sharing and don't assume based off of a title.
So, the people will be sharing the cure found in the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is like.
They're like, it is?
What's that?
It was.
It was up.
I know. But like you said, I think a cure, it's going to be hard to make that jump. And I think precision medicine is going to be that connection that it really needs. And once they start finding these little pieces like this one and other ones, then they can help the Crohn's patient that has this. And the ones that don't they know that we don't need to treat it with this. We can treat this separately. Yeah. So I definitely.
It's not going to be a guessing game either.
Yeah. Super important. Nice. So with that, guys, that's it for today. We're going to leave you the article so you can read it. You can take a look. And I'm trying to think if we have anything new. I think it's been just a lot of work and school.
Yeah, a lot of college. Let's see. Anything else? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, hopefully we'll
golf.
Golf.
Yeah.
This week. Yeah. Basically, so it's been nice, quiet, and just hope we continue with this. It's always nice to just have regular life stuff and not have these other interruptions with this disease. So just rolling along. But
getting through it.
So you guys can check us out on Team I Be Determined on Instagram. You can check out the Reggie Project.
Please support that. We love it.
And if any of you listening would like us to mail you one of the cutouts of Reggie, so you can do this. Message us, let us know. We'll pop one in the mail and send you one.
There's also a link for it, right? You can print it.
Yeah, we have a link for it too. And so you can download your own and print your own.
Reggie.
So check out the Reggie Project. We'd love to have some of you participate. Also, so I guess we always like to tell you guys you can listen to us, even though you're probably listening already on one of these stations.
We just tell you. We just want you to know where you can find us.
Just in case you're on YouTube watching us and you're like, hey, well, where can I listen to you too? So Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and we have our link to Buzzsprout,
which has
shows all the places you can listen to us.
All the magnificent places.
Yeah.
And then if you also want to watch us, there's YouTube. There's also YouTube podcasts. Then there's also YouTube videos, which have been here forever. And why not watch us? Because we also record it, and you can see our amazing backdrop.
Which one of our lights went out, and so it's a little bit dark back there. So I have to do some editing magic and lighten it up.
Right there. Yeah. Put
on your award. Right, it's Mason's award right there behind his head. So anyways, guys, thanks if you've been listening to us since the beginning, it's been 2 years. Thanks for sticking around. If you're a new listener, glad you found us.
Yes, glad you found us.
A lot of good episodes. I mean, I think we're actually at a point where we can go back and start reassessing like some of our earlier episodes
and then doing them maybe and
see if we feel differently and see if anything has changed, because 2 years in the time of this disease is actually quite a long time. And so I think it'd be cool to see like how you're feeling, like
how I'm feeling now compared to
when we did that and what we had to say.
Interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of this is, like we always talk about, this is our opinion.
Yeah,
This
it's our opinion.
This is what we do, but in our
Backed by
lives,
sources.
yeah, backed by sources. When we talk about things regarding what Mason's going through, what we're going through, we're going to be different times of our life. It's going to affect how we speak about it and what we talk about. So I think it'd be interesting to kind of go back and
see what we're doing,
right,
we're dealing with.
Right. And maybe see if we have a different viewpoint or see if we've learned and maybe our viewpoint didn't stay the same.
Yeah.
So taking that dialectical approach.
Yeah, speaking of the first videos, that reminds me, if you're on YouTube, make sure to like, share, and maybe make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to be notified every time we post a new video, make sure that bell icon. And the reason it reminded me is because I was going to say, please comment, we love comments, especially positive comments.
Yeah.
But like, maybe tell us, how long have you been watching us? What were the first videos that you ever watched?
Yeah. What was the first one? Like,
you here 2 years ago?
What drew you to us and how did you find us? What was maybe the search you did? You were looking for something, happened to find us. Let us know. And so, yeah.
So we'll know if you're an OG.
Yeah.
Or an original.
Yes.
OG.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Our listeners appreciate us at this point. They know.
They're like, oh man, they're cringe.
We are who we are, guys.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's what we do. So I'll check. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good rest
summer.
Weekday, morning. Have a good
podcast day.
Right?
Maybe have a podcast day.
Yeah, listen to a bunch of our
summer school. I'm sure you're finishing up summer school. Back to school.
Like,
no, I just ruined that.
I know. Let's not say that. Any kids listening right now, like,
you're
stop.
gonna have to bleep that out because that was so terrible. Oh,
don't say that.
Not that.
No. So yeah, well, you guys, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll see you on the next
episode. Yep.
All right.
Have a good 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you will stick around, tune in, and reach out to us with your own journeys. We are excited to give you an inside view of what it takes to be a caregiver and what it's like to be a patient.
And most of all, we hope you'll maybe be able to apply something you hear on here that might help you in your own life. Sometimes life changes, and it's all about how you handle the journey.